So as I was saying, Deb Marquardt has been very gracious in letting me work with poems that she's written over, boy, I don't know, probably the last 10 years or so. And this is one piece that was in the exhibition at Design on Main, and it's titled Poor You. What was exciting about the exhibition and the opportunity to show so much work that was Braille was a discovery I made during the course of designing the pieces that the Student Disability Resource Center has a Braille printer. And I was able to work with the staff there and printed all of the text, my statement, the poems that Deb had let me use in Braille. And the hope was that people who are not sighted would come to the exhibition. I allowed everybody to touch anything they wanted to. But the piece that's right here that you can see has lights behind it to show the beauty of what Braille looks like to those of us who are sighted. But on the surface is a very thin piece of acetate that has Braille printing on it. So I was actually fortunate to be enough to be at the gallery at Design on Main when a woman who was profoundly blind came in and walked over and read the statement. Very, very, very exciting. Because it's exciting to have an audience that, for whom art isn't normally made. When we talk about art, we often separate it into performing arts, visual arts, and I've always been interested in the tactile properties of the ceramic forms that I make, and because it's clay and it's fired and the surface isn't terribly fragile, you can touch everything and not ruin it. So I was very gratified to be able to take Deb's poems, translate them into a visual image, and then also be able to have a means for sighted and non-sighted people to experience the work. So exciting to have all these multiple levels of approach to my work. And I titled it, It's Not Neither. Let me just read the statement that I created for the show. Over the past 12 years, Braille has been used in my artwork as a symbol for cultural, political, and social blindness. Developed in 1829 by Louis Braille, it is comprised of a rectangular 6-dot cell on its end, with 64 possible combinations using one or more of the 6 dots. For the sighted, Braille appears as a rhythmic flow of patterns, a visual language evoking meaning. Using this system allows me to explore pattern, repetition, metaphor, and engage the visual structure in language. The title, It's Not Neither, comes from Zen philosophy's inquiry concerning the nature of existence, examining whether our experiences are real or an illusion, concluding it's not neither. The philosophy holds that there is no duality at the heart of existence, that it's neither reality nor illusion in an inseparable relationship that contains all the complexity, contentiousness, conundrums, and wonders of experience. Several of the projects that were in the exhibition are a part of an ongoing collaboration with Iowa State University professor and poet Deborah Marquardt. Coming up with a title for an exhibition is a matter of trial and error, and a lot of my desire to make people begin to think about what I was showing, especially the piece, the large piece with the black and white discs about race. I didn't want to say, oh, look at me, here I am talking about race. Aren't I a good person? I wanted people to come at it and feel invited into an exploration and begin to come up with their own questions. Because it's when we all have those questions and come together that we have really productive conversations. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Brunia. I'm a photographer originally from Ames, Iowa, now living in Iowa City. I know the Iowa State Women's and Gender Studies Department because they purchased 4 of my prints for the permanent art collection at ISU for the Rediscovering Shelves exhibition in 2015, I believe. So that work now hangs in Carver Hall. It's some work that I did after my undergraduate and before I went to grad school at University of New Mexico, where I got my MFA in photography. And they're prints from a series where I was exploring largely what it meant to be, I guess, a woman understanding herself in the world, largely in relation to other women. They were very loosely based on narratives from my childhood, which I am one of 3 girls, so I have an older and a younger sister. So the work had quite often young women in more or less teenage years interacting, sometimes in support of one another, sometimes in somewhat more conflict, but it had a lot to do with kind of how women connect to one another.